Hey, this is Full Game Prometheus, the only YouTuber that actually shows you full games of all the tips and schemes he breaks on his channel. I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly against online ranked opponents. Alright, so guys, if you are looking for original content, I definitely recommend subscribe. I'm actually going to provide you with different plays that you probably don't see getting run online on a regular basis, because a lot of people just steal from the tournament players and don't develop their own schemes. So I actually want to show you a couple of base plays out of the single back a bunch base that you actually can give you some really effective ways to attack your opponent in many different coverages. Now, one of the base plays we're going to take a look at is going to be the Z option, and it's got very unique route combinations. It's got routes that are very hard to stop, and it's got routes that will help you beat cover 2, cover 3, and all different types of coverages and give you easy checkdowns. Now, what's good about the Z option is that it's a good complement of one of the base plays in this particular Houston playbook, and that's spacing. So if you run a base play which is going to be the Z option, you can go ahead and complement it with spacing. You can definitely have your opponent have a hard time trying to stop this concept. So let's come out against random defenses in the Z option. Now, the key to this particular play basically starts with the route by Hopkins, which is like a little in and then a seam route. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and smart route it, because then it actually turns it into like a small little hitch route. Now, to basically make this play a complement to spacing, which is going to be one of the autos we're going to jump into, we're going to go ahead and motion our fullback, or our tight end number 2, and actually put him on the outside. Now, with this particular play, my first read is going to be Hopkins, and I'm going to go ahead and try to attack my opponent with this little hitch and go route. It's consistently going to get you 5 yards, and your opponent's going to have to go ahead and manually defend it, or man up a guy to actually take it away, or use some kind of a bracket coverage against you. So that's one of the reasons why I do like this particular play, is because this particular route is just a very harassing route. Now, occasionally what's going to happen is your opponent's going to have the right coverage, and it's basically a bracket coverage, and that's when you make your next progressions right there. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and try to pop that immediately. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the right side of the field, and we're going to take our fullback, or tight end number 2, and actually motion him over and let him settle in, and then make our progressions from there. Now, if nobody falls into the flat, I'm going to go ahead and check down to the fullback, or the tight end number 2. So really, it's you can decide which way you want to attack. Now, this route is going to get pretty much easy separation unless you have a guy that's supposed to be coming off the line and he falls back in coverage. That is when I'm not going to actually go ahead and attack this route, this particular route, because this defender is going to fall and take away that quick hitch read that we're going to throw to. So on the back side, we've got a really unique combination. I've got this guy going on a flat. I've also got this guy actually doing, which is kind of like an angled out and up and hook route, and then I've got a cover 3 beater, man beater route right here, which is a deep corner route that I can attack my opponent. Now, the fast and easy read is actually going ahead and hit this flat route. Now, what I like about this particular route is that the receiver actually faces the quarterback, and it's easy to go ahead and turn around and rack for additional yards because of where he's at when the ball gets released. So we're going to do, once again, I'm not going to go ahead and use the little hot route with Hopkins. I'm going to take my fullback, motion him over, look for my flat read, and just see if a defender falls in the area. And what's good about this particular play is that you do have this high play route that your opponent is going to have to defend 2 against you. So it does take away some of the different coverages as you want. So we've got another defender who slides out. And this time we've got man coverage, and this little hitch route generally will beat man coverage 9 out of 10 times. Now, the seam route by Fuller actually should get wide open in a lot of different situations. So you can see right here, I'm able to go ahead and get a nice big yardage right there. So let's take a look at the instant replay and see why that route particular opened up. So as you can see right here, this defender actually falls down into a flat coverage, and he's actually taking away the quarterback, and it actually looks like it's a blitzing corner. So the flat is always going to be wide open. The defender actually falls down. He can't cover both of these wide receivers, and because there's a yellow zone right here, this guy beats that route, and I'm able to go and pick up a good 30 yards on that completion right up through the seam. So this is a great play. It's very difficult to stop because of the route combinations. I've got 2 routes that actually stretch the field, go really far. and then I've also got a flat, and then I've got a curl rod on the back side. So I want to go ahead and implement this with one of my base audibles, which is going to be spacing. So spacing is one of my base audibles. I'm going to block my running back and run this against man coverages. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and take my fullback, motion him out so I can give my opponent the same kind of a look. And against man coverage, this out route should be wide open, and sometimes you can rack that particular out route for a touchdown. I've been on numerous occasions with a quick little out. You can rack it and get big yards. You can see right here. As you can see, I was able to go ahead and get a touchdown off of that. So now you had the one play which you're actually doing a little hitch route, and then you got an out route. That's going to be very difficult for him to go ahead and stop that inside receiver number 1, which is Hopkins. And then we can now go ahead and attack our opponent off the right hand side. And what's good about this particular play is that you've got a small little hitch route that you can beat your opponent up in the middle of the formation. So it's got a nice little complement. If he's going to be playing against Z spot, you've got this particular play that you can go ahead and you pick up an easy completion against them with that little red route. So that's what I do like about this complement of these two plays, is that you can use the Z spot as your base play, and then basically beat your opponent with these simple complements against them. So guys, this is going to be part 1 of maybe a 2 or 3 part series with the single back bunch ace. I'm going to show you a couple other plays that you can throw into the scheme, but Z spot is definitely a good base play to call. Outside of other plays like a pitch play, and then you got a slash as some audibles you can jump into. You can definitely attack your opponent and get some big yards off of it. So to my subscribers, I hope you appreciate these tips. You're going to go ahead and see these in live gameplay, so make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel already. You can see me using these schemes against live opponents. You can see how they can adjust to them and how I go ahead and adjust and change my scheme as I play more games underneath my belt. So once again, thank you for your support, and until next time.